sir. Good morning po, no? And thank you for your time. We really appreciate it for taking the time na mag-conduct or sumama dito para sa interview namin. And it's a pleasure to have you here. So, just to start it off po, sir, of course, you would like to know you a little bit more. Can you just introduce yourself a little and tell us where you work if you don't mind po?
Okay, sige po. So I'm Ariel Lalisan. I am a school head. No, I'm a head teacher here at Paraiso Integrated School. That is in Alabel, Sarangani Province. That's southernmost tip of mainland Mindanao. Before this post, I used to be a physics teacher at Alabel National Science High School. I did that for 12 years until the pandemic. So during the pandemic, I served the DepEd, the division office of DepEd, in terms of the implementation of educational technology, as well as in information dissemination. So after that, when classes started, I was given this position to be a school head. My background is actually in science teaching.
Nice. Okay. Thank you so much po. That's very interesting nga po, no? Sir, thank you. Thank you so much. When we were researching po, no, a little bit more on your info, we came across an article that you wrote, if I'm not mistaken, and we were intrigued by that. If you don't mind, Bo, can you tell us just a little bit more or like a summary for that, sir?
Okay, so I wrote that article on artificial intelligence. I think that was back in 2018. ChatGPT was not yet a thing back then, but people have always been hearing about artificial intelligence. So I wrote about it. It was it was actually like a narrative. When I was invited to attend the science exhibit. I think it was a science exhibit uh, of the Department of Science and Technology dyan sa PICC sa Pasay. So I narrated the story from way before we traveled to PICC when Google was actually reminding me about my flight the next day. So if you would be wondering how would Google know that I have showing accommodations in Manila, right? So how does Facebook know that I'm traveling to Manila and stuff like that? So the article was actually trying to tell people that even if we might not be aware of it, but artificial intelligence is actually already influencing our lives. It's actually integrated in our lives without us knowing it. Uh, the apps that we use on our phones are actually learning about us. It's learning about our activities. It's learning about somehow it's kind of scary because you would wonder how do these applications know much detail about yourself. Yung kakaroon ka ng scare about your privacy and stuff like that. But I did not dwell much on the negative side. I was actually like just trying to inform people that whether we like it or not, we have to live with artificial intelligence because it's already embedded in our lives.
Yes, thank you po. And yes, I agree po, sir, no, kasi like Google like knows you a lot. So I agree because I forgot what it's called. Targeted advertising. It seems like
Yeah.
napaka prevalent na niya these days. Ayun. Thank you for sharing that, sir. And we would like to ask you a set of questions, no, to move on with the interview. So, how do you explain the idea of technological determinism to your students? Can you share a real life example that shows how technology can shape the way we live?
Yeah. In terms of using technology in my teaching, from the very start, I mean, when I started teaching, I've always been looking for technology that would help me simplify my tasks as a teacher. are now using uh, that the projector back then, wala pang smart TVs in the classrooms then. So lahat din gumagamit na ng projector. They started using PowerPoint presentations in their teaching, and then they realized that it has actually simplified their jobs. Like every year, they would not need to develop their visual materials because they would just reuse what they have in store in their storage drives and maybe modify it to adapt to the changes. So because of that, the technology actually is existing, but it's not being used by many of the teachers. So once you actually start engaging in technology, it will really change the way you you teach, no? Because you are not spending most of your time preparing your visual aids anymore. You have more time trying to come up with better teaching strategies. You have more time to start thinking about the results of assessments and applying the results of assessments to the learning of the students, no. So it actually changes your mindset, no. Sometimes uh we spend most of our energy doing menial tasks. But since these menial tasks can now be done by technology or has been made easier by technology, then we could use more of our time, use more of our energy on some other essential things or things that are more essential that would actually need some human intervention. So yung mga paulit-ulit na lang repetitive tasks, those tasks that are tedious, no? So we can actually let technology do it or use technology to simplify these processes so we can focus our attention more on the essential stuff. Yeah. And one specific thing also that I could cite that would help us answer your question is that when I started introducing technology in my teaching as well, no, some of the teachers were actually like antagonizing technology. They think that technology is actually a bane. No, they think that it would actually be a distraction for students. And then I would tell my fellow teachers that we are actually part to blame if that is what is happening. If technology is distracting our learners, we are part to blame because we did not teach them or show them how to use technology in much more productive activities. So if we start showing them that there is more to here, technology will always be here, it will always evolve, it will always be available. But if it actually depends on us whether we would embrace it or not. No? Nandiyan lang naman yung technology. We can always make choices. On the question about whether technology would be um, uh, detrimental to our privacy, it actually also depends on us about how much are we going to share, in the internet. So whatever the direction that technology is heading to, we are actually part of it. We actually have a decision on whether we would use it to our gain or use it, you know, uh, to serve as distraction. I mean, technology can be good or bad. It depends on how we decide uh, about about its use. So yeah, as I was saying, uh, you know, there even if it's technology, sometimes especially nowadays, technology is parang governed na by artificial intelligence, but eventually it would still need human, no, human intervention. and and again, it still depends on us, no, people, whether technology would be a villain or a hero. It depends on how we use it.
All right, thank you so much for that uh answer for your answer, sir. By the way, my name is Davini. I'm sorry, it is kind
Yes.
of ano po dito, but just for the next question, as uh For this one, sir, can you or when you just a moment here.
Yeah, and then technology is actually like specifically those technology that people use. I think it is also designed based on the preference of the people who use them. No, so that's why the trends are changing. The trends, the trends are changing because the preferences of the people are being considered in the design of this technology. Kahit nga di ba yung mga smartphones natin, no? Before, paliitan ng smartphones, sa time ng Nokia, no? Meron tayong mga foldable phones because those were considered to be what the people at that particular time need, no? Yung mas maliit, more convenient for them. But later on, we shifted to smartphones that have larger screens, no? Especially when people preferred a more immersive experience in their technology. And then the trend changed. No, maybe that's just one. No, so in the development of technology, there is human input, no? Specifically in the design. Um, yeah, the preferences of the people, yun, yung ethics, yung values, these things are actually coming into play in the development of technology. I hope I was able to answer that question.
Thank you so much, sir. So, let's move on to the next question, sir. Just want to ask, how does our culture affect how technology changes our lives? Are there things about our way of life that makes technology have a bigger or a smaller impact?
Okay, culture. How does culture shape
Uh, af-
technology?
yeah, affect how technology changes our life. Yes. How does our culture affect our technology? How technology changes our lives?
Yeah. Uh, Maybe there is one thing I would like to cite na lang, a specific example that we did during the pandemic. Uh, During the pandemic, the concern of the Department of Education was learning continuity. That despite the pandemic, we should be able to continue giving instruction to the learners. No? The learners should continue to learn, have access to education despite uh, the constraints in terms of traveling from their homes to school. That's why we shifted to uh, alternative learning delivery modes. And at that time, most of our schools in the Philippines are actually not ready for distance learning. It happened very quickly, yung pandemic, and most of our schools are not ready. They do not have the infrastructure. The teachers do not have, the technical skills in implementing distance learning modalities. And so we were not able to adapt, no. Uh, but these technologies, if we come to think of it, uh, even the technology that we're using now, this has been in existence decades ago, no? Marami ng online classrooms available decade. Online platforms require internet connection. But here in our division, we developed an offline learning management system. No, so we call that the LR on wheels. And our specific target were those schools that are located in areas where there is no internet connection, there is no mobile signal. No, we established a server in those schools, and then we also put up access point antennas in their from their school going to their community, and we were able to conduct or to hold online classes even in those areas without internet connection. So we made it possible, no, that e-learning is not limited only in the cities. It can also be done even in remote areas. We already have existing technology for that. It's just about making the effort to make it happen. na. And ngayon, meron ng Starlink. So those areas na walang internet connection noon, they can now subscribe to Starlink and they can continue their online platforms. This time, online talaga. And they are not as clueless, no, as people in the cities would think about, think of them in regards to their awareness of technology in learning. So when they after they graduate, for example, and then they decide to proceed to college in big schools in the cities, they are already aware of these online classrooms, no, online platforms because they have experienced it, even if they are coming from remote areas. But of course, it's it not all schools were given that opportunity. No? We just modeled some schools and we were able to show our department that it can be done. Yeah, it's possible. Parang layo na yata ng sagot ko dun sa tanong.
That's okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay, sir. Thank you dun sa sagot mo. And that's very good. It's the first time that I've heard of offline learning, management server. Tama po ba?
Learning management system. We actually just
Learning
used Moodle. I know you're familiar with Moodle. We just
Yes.
used Moodle, but we made it offline.
Yeah, that's like that intrigued me, no. Thank you for that. I've gained some new knowledge about that, sir. And in a way, I do agree, COVID-19 or the pandemic hit us hard, but meron din namang ano, no, meron ding magagandang bagay na nadulot to, like yan nga, Google Classroom. When the pandemic started, it's actually just the first time that I've heard of Google Classroom. And now it has made our lives easier, passing requirements and stuff. So thank you. Thank you again, sir. A time when, sorry. Can you tell us about a time when what people believed or like in a certain culture made a big difference in how they accepted or rejected a new piece of technology?
Medyo mahirap ano ba? Wala ko masyadong maisip about that. Wala ko masyadong masite na it could either be sorry, either be positive reception or negative reception of a certain technology because of their culture. Tama ba?
Yes po, anything po, negative, positive, or like just any info on about that.
So far, in my experience, wala akong experience masyado na there is rejection of technology because or not non-acceptance of technology because of their culture. Maybe there are. I know some religions are quite strict. No, some religions are quite strict. Maybe I'm not really sure. Maybe there are some religions who their uh ban their mga adherents nila on using technology. Wala akong nakita dito sa Philippines, pero meron akong napanood na isang video. It was somewhere in the United States naman yun. Merong isang parang group of, parang it's because of their religion. I think it was featured by Drew Binsky na they do not allow their members to use cell phone or connect to the internet. And he also mentioned, I think once, yung mga Jews naman, na they have a certain kosher internet, no? So meron silang internet na parang internet cafes na parang yun lang yung inaalaw nila na pwedeng mag-access ng internet connection yung kanilang mga members. They call it the kosher internet na parang it's kind of wala siyang siguro walang mga porn ganyan. It's like may mga restrictions na form of internet. Yun lang. Pero in the Philippines so far wala akong masyadong masite na merong ganyang pangyayari. In fact, yung mga sinabi ko kanina, yung technology that we introduced, yung LR on wheels, we introduced it actually to areas, and these areas are dominated mostly by local tribes, so yung mga Blaan. We also have Tibolis and Tagakaulos. They're very excited on the use. They're very open because they value education and they understand that the technology that we are introducing to them would be of value to them. No, most of them actually saw for the first time no tablet, no PC, no for the first time. It was their first time to actually hold a computer or a PC, a tablet PC in real life, and they were so excited about it. There was no rejection. They were very supportive. No, it's just because they understood why the technology exists, or why do they have to embrace the technology, because it would also be for their good. Maybe I think when people either reject or accept technology, it's 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 because they see a value. No, if they see it's valuable to them, then they would accept it. If they think it's going to be detrimental or a threat to their culture, just like what the Jews did, then they would maybe censor, or they would filter the technology that they would allow.
Okay. Thank you for that, sir. No? And I agree. And it's kind of like ano, ang sarap pakinggan no na natanggap agad nung natanggap nila agad yung new piece of technology na introduce nyo sa kanila no kasi it can really help them a lot. And yeah, that's very good. So,
Siguro, dagdag ko na lang din siguro. Itong sa existence naman ng ChatGPT, ngayon ko lang naisip din. There are also people who like, they value intellectual property, no? So they think that ChatGPT and this artificial intelligence, in terms of, content generation na artificial intelligence, they do not accept it readily because they think that it generates it has a problem on intellectual property and originality, mga ganon. So that's also like siguro hindi naman siya necessarily culture, it's values no, or schedule and prioritize, and yeah, because in the time of technology, and things happen rapidly, no, sometimes time naman yung kinukulang. So I would always tell my students to uh, prioritize, to set schedules, yeah, to be disciplined when it comes uh, to managing their time. So they have to schedule their activities. No, in our Google Classroom, we have uh, we schedule our activities, the submissions, and all that, and they have to fit their activities also, so that they would be able to meet the scheduled activities. And so once you have one activity that you missed, it's going to mess up your schedule. Kasi dadami na yung doble na yung kailangan mong gagawin. Maghahabol ka at the end of yung mga deadlines, and then the quality of your work will be affected. So we always do that, and they are also involved in deciding, in planning in setting the deadlines. It's always about uh, how their ability to turn in the activities given their other tasks. No, maybe that's a way of trying to tell them, or instilling in them, that uh, we are humans using the technology, and we have limitations. No, and one of that is our time, or availability, and of course our health. Although we have 24 hours in a day, we cannot use all of it to perform our duties. So we have to schedule our time, no, and then we have to schedule our activities within a specific set of time. What do you call this? Schedule, no. Ayan. So it's also trying to give them a picture now when I ask them that when we set this deadline, is it doable or is it within your ability to deliver? It has to be realistic. So ganun din when they set also expectations of themselves, no, given that they are using technology, they also have to consider that they are human, no, that they have limitations and they have to consider that in their decision making. How may sagot ko? Yeah. I mean, the technology should not take away our humanness, no? So we are still humans using the technology.
Yes, I agree, sir. Not the other way around, though, that technology is using us. So,
Yeah.
yeah, because sometimes it's that way, no, and I'm partially guilty about that. Where technology is using me more than I use the technology. ChatGPT. But yeah,
Yeah.
we've been learning, or I've been learning to use it as a tool rather than just rely on it, which I believe students should do, no, rather than rely solely on the technology that we. So ayun, thank you so much po sir for your time. We really appreciate you for taking the time here. I know it took quite a while, and I know you're busy. I know you're busy. You have a lot of things that you do there. But thank you so much. We've learned a lot, and hopefully we can apply everything that you said um for our studies, to further enhance our capabilities as a student. Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you also. Akala ko
Okay.
15 minutes lang, umabot yata sobra tayo ng 30 minutes. Masyado ako madaldal. Sorry.
Okay lang po sir. It's actually parang kwentuhan lang. Yes. Thank you po. We've learned a lot.
So, regarding the interview that we had with Mr. Ariel, it helped me understand more what is AI or technology is doing for our lives. It is upon our control how technology will be influencing our lives, basically. And also, technology is a tool to help us with our chores and tasks, especially in school right now, and we're in it is much easier and convenient, but we need to be mindful on our limitations.
So, we've asked Mr. Lalisan to share an example that shows how technology can shape the way we live. So, he told us about how his code teachers shifted from using the traditional visual aids to embracing technology using softwares like PowerPoint and Google Slides. So it demonstrates how technology can reshape daily practices like making tasks more efficient and enhancing overall learning experience.
So there are a lot of realizations upon hearing the answer of Mr. Ariel. So there's this specific topic wherein Mr. Clark asked Mr. Ariel about the acceptance of some culture when it comes to technology. So before, um, the only thing that I knew is North Korea is the only country that restrict their people to freely have an access to the internet. But upon hearing the answer of Mr. Ariel, I guess I am wrong. So that's it.
We know technology plays a significant role in shaping our lives, influencing how we communicate, work, learn, and interact with the world around us. From smartphone to social media to AI, technology revolutionized nearly every aspect of modern life. Our culture, tradition, and beliefs profoundly influence how technology evolves and is adopted. Cultural norms, values, and preferences shape the design, development, and the use of technology. Tech and culture are deeply intertwined with each other, influencing and shaping the other in complex ways. Understanding this is essential for designing and implementing technologies that are inclusive, ethical, and responsive to the diverse needs and values of global society.
The interview helped me learn several important things about technology. First is, hindi kailangan maging expensive or state-of-the-art ang technology for it to be an effective and practical tool for us to use in our education, profession, and to use in our daily lives. Hindi tayo dapat ma-intimidate sa technology. It's a matter of educating everyone of how to use it responsibly and ethically to avoid misuse and abuse. Likewise, educated public on proper usage and safety measures against possible abuse of technology could further enhance our education, career, public service, profession, etc. Next is time management in usage of technology will guide us na maging help sa atin ng technology and ma-prevent na tayo ang kinokontrol ng technology like being addicted to games.
So, gaya nga ng sinabi ni Sir, the advancement of technology is inevitable. So, hindi natin maiiwasan yung pag-upgrade ng mga bagay-bagay. So, we need to live with it, but hindi lang basta tayo namumuhay kasama yung pag-unlad ng technology. But also, dapat nag-i-improve din or umuunlad rin yung ating knowledge, diba? Kung paano natin gagamit technology para hindi tayo mapag-iwanan sa mga nangyayaring pagbabago. Dahil, gaya rin ng sabi ni Sir, diba? Malaki naman talaga yung maitutulong ng teknolohiya sa atin basta alam natin kung paano natin to gagamitin. Gaya nung ginawa ni Sir nung in-interview namin, diba? Nagagamit niya to sa pagtuturo niya, na-share niya sa mga colleagues niya kung paano niya ginagamit yung technology sa pagtuturo niya. Diba? Nabawasan daw yung na oras na ginugugol nila para sa mga bagay na kailangan nila gawing manual, gaya ng paggawa ng visual sa klase. Diba? Pero dahil nga sa pamamagitan ng technology, specifically yung projector or mga PowerPoint presentation, diba? Simplified their jobs. Kasi ang technology naman para sa akin din is naka-design talaga siya para kumilos ng naayon sa galaw ng tao. It's like an instrument that will help human to do things beyond ng kanilang kakayahan or their preference. Kailangan lang natin maging matalino sa paggamit nito para mas maging effective at dumali yung mga ginagawa natin sa araw-araw gamit yung teknolohiya.
Para sa akin, ang pinaka-tumatak na sinabi ng interviewee, Sir Ariel Lalisan, ay yung it depends on us whether technology would be a villain or a hero. It depends on how we use it. Considering that currently, marami sa atin yung nakikita ang artificial intelligence as a threat, especially in various industries, because it might cause job displacement. So it's fascinating to see how professionals like Sir Ariel viewing artificial intelligence as not as a competitor but rather as an ally or an asset. So through this interview, I learned that from an STS expert that it is possible to enrich and utilize technology for the development without compromising the society.